What's up, guys? It's Dorian. Today I'm going to review the RevengeOS, which is a Arch-based Linux distro, which uses multiple desktops. And it's in a virtual machine right now, so I'll whip through it and also cover the installer a little bit, and then I'll go on to the hardware portion and probably do a part 2 later if there's interest. So the boot up to begin with, I find a little interesting because you could boot in, you can't boot straight into installation. You boot into the OS, and it has a built-in memtest 86 plus, as well as a reboot and power off option, which is different. It's good. I mean, if you boot into a system and then you decided you want it to power off, I don't know. But it's an option. Anyways, so this is the live distro. So you boot right in, and I'm just going to give it a second here for it to finish loading up Conky and all its different pieces. Fire up HTOP here. So we're at 430 megs. I'm still waiting for Conky, a couple things to pop up. So right away, one of the things you notice is when a window's not focused, it goes transparent. Not a huge fan of that, but you can totally change it. You could change everything with this, which is pretty neat. It's taken a while for the other Conky part to load up here. But anyways, you're greeted with this welcome screen where you can install VirtualBox modules, NVIDIA drivers. There's a software installation tool, and this is where you can install the system. I think it uses Nemesis, which is for Arch Linux. So there you go. We've got this booted up, and it's got some shortcut keys, which once you learn, I'm sure you can remove that. So I'm just going to close this for now. So what do we have? It's OpenBox desktop, and it uses a XFCE panel by default, which, like I said, you can change. So right-clicking brings up your different programs, as well as access to file manager, terminal. One thing I noticed is when you click web browser, it's looking for Google Chrome, but by default they have Chromium installed on here. Where is it? Chromium. And it does actually work. Mail reader, you get nothing because there is none installed by default, which is fine. And what else? Advanced settings, some OpenBox things, screenshot, and lock, Conky settings, exit. They have their own little exit menu system here, which is kind of nice looking. And then we have the whisker menu provided by the XFCE taskbar with all the same things you'll find in the OpenBox menu, just presented a little nicer. So they have a control panel here. Panel switcher lets you decide if you want to use, this is XFCE, if you like tint, you just click on it and it loads up tint. You want LX panel from LXDE or XFCE from Ubuntu or Mate. There you go, you just click it, loads it up. You want a dock, you click that, and it adds a dock at one point. Sorry, I will mute my phone. And then you can have pre-configured layouts, Mate, hybrid, which is Mate, I guess, without the bottom bar, and then back to OpenBox. When you go back to OpenBox, it gives you a dock, which is different. Yeah, and I don't know why, but you could see sometimes here, Compton is just using up the CPU. I don't know if you can hear my fan going, but certain things just cause it to just shoot up. Oh, you see that? And I think it might just be the software rendering of the transparency. But anyways, On and on. The notifications can be customized with different themes, which is nice. Speaking of themes, you have your window themes here. And wow, this is just churning up the CPU here. My fan never does this with a virtual machine. I believe it is, I'm just going to skip ahead here, desktop effects, opacity, let's enable this, opacity, inactive, all the way up, and close, there. So that gets rid of the transparency. Just go back in here and look at some other things. You can add shadows to the windows, the fading in and out. This is basically the Compton settings. So, okay, back to here. Desktop manager. It's asking for a password, which I don't have because it's the live user. And I've tried a lot of different things. And is it actually going to be live user? No. I've tried a lot of different passwords. I didn't check their website. It's probably there, but moving on. Wallpaper manager is nitrogen. They have some nice wallpapers that they've made up. Wow. I don't know if you can hear my fan, but it's going a little nuts. I think I'm definitely going to install it and run it on hardware and see what it does. Maybe I just didn't hear it before because I wasn't in a quiet space, or I was doing other stuff in the background, so I was expecting the fan to be loud. But anyways, system monitor just runs HTOP, and system info runs NeoFetch or Screen Fetch, one of them. And your system, you have your standard network connections, printer settings, which doesn't work. I assume it works when it's installed. Open box key bindings with OB key. Auto start settings, which I think is a little odd how they set it up, because you could either say add or remove. If you add, it wants you to tell it what command, and then I assume it drops a file into the auto start folder, so that if you say remove, you just go into this file browser, select the one you want to remove, and it'll delete it. So it's pretty simple. Display settings, this is LX Brander. Power Manager is the XFCE Power Manager. Preferred applications is the Thunar utility. Users and groups will not load up. Okay, moving on. Firewall. We have GuffW, which is great for a personal firewall. If you're running a server or some enterprise stuff, you might want something a little different. Can I just kill this Compton? What is going on? Well, let me try it. All right. So I've killed Compton because it's just going crazy. Now look at that. Everything went to 0. Strange. I wonder if it's a virtual machine thing. Anyways, firewall. OB Revenge mirrorless tool, which I think asks for a password. Wallpaper will download and randomly change your password. Software tool also asks for the password, I believe. No, it doesn't work. Software manager is your basic Arch Linux PAMAN or PAMAN, however you say it. And it has a repository for Revenge where they put their own collection of software that is specific to their distro. And like any Arch Linux distro, you can enable the AUR, which is the user repository, to download whatever someone else has made that you think is cool, but it's a little risky. Read into that before you turn that on. What's next? Software update is the software updater, which also runs up in here in system tray. And then you've got OpenBox Revenge tools to install codecs, drivers, Flash, kernel manager, and yada yada. So that's pretty cool. It's a good software center, or a good control center. One thing that I think is a little odd is if you click wallpaper, you want to move it aside and do some stuff. This is kind of dead until you close the window that you opened, and now I'm going to close it, and it's going to start doing all kinds of other stuff that I was clicking on. Yes. No. So it kind of queues them up because the program's locked, waiting for the program you opened to exit. So you've got that, and included software is the basics, your archive manager, disks, nitrogen, Parcelites, clipboard, utility, Lunar, Synapse, which I've also found handy, some Qt stuff. No graphics editor out of the box, so no GIMP, no image viewer or anything. I assume this stuff gets added, or you can add it during installation. Multimedia, again, no VLC, no nothing. Network is only the browser. All your settings, which we've gone over already. System tools, including gparted and LightDM greeter settings, advanced settings, and yeah, that's it. So we've covered pretty much everything. And now I'm just going to go back to the control panel. Nope, I don't want that. I want the welcome screen, which should be RevengeOS welcome. So now I'm going to install the system, and it downloads Nemesis. And there's just a couple of things I wanted to point out in the installer, and then I'm going to call this a day. Thank you for choosing. Automatic partitioning, yes. Yes. Choose desktop. So this is cool because it'll download whichever one you want. So it's very, very dynamic, very adaptive. I'm going to stick with the open box for now. And enter your username and password. So this one, I don't know if it's a theming issue, but if I were to do this, and I think people know what I'm doing already, and I hit next, nothing happens. But it doesn't tell you why. Well, first of all, you can't have an uppercase letter in a username, lowercase letter. Next, something else is wrong. Passwords don't match. Do that, and I'll show you again if I do this. Passwords match now, but I still can't do anything. So it's not telling you what's wrong. It just assumes that you know what you're doing. So now here during the installation, you can say if you want the long-term support kernel, do you want LibreOffice, do you want Steam, do you want Wine, Fatpack? I think it means Flatpak support. Maybe there is such a thing as Fatpak. Either way. And now you hit next, and it's going to download, copy, install after it's partitioned your disk, and you will be finished. I'm not going to go through that. I will cover that on the hardware version of the review. And yes, I want to close. So, thoughts? It's quite flexible. It tries to do a little bit of everything. Couple little snags here and there. But so far, just going off the live installation, pretty cool, except the Compton issue that we had. And I'm going to put it on the hardware and see if there's anything dramatic going on there. Shut it down. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Shut it down. And there we go. So, rating wise, pretty good. Couple little things that should fix. Revenge has been around for about a year, just over a year. And It's great. I like how you can pick what desktop you want. You could pick if you want this taskbar, that taskbar. Tries to have a little bit of everything. Is it too much? Should they just kind of focus on a couple themes, maybe two desktops? We'll see. That's all I got for now. Hope you enjoyed. Till next time.